quiltfabric.com. Today's video is going to show you how to put your borders on a quilt. I'm going to use this kind of small quilt that I've got here. Put them on so that they're nice and flat, and your long armor will love you, and even if you're quilting yourself, it'll be better for you if you have a nice flat frame all the way around and you don't have any of this waviness. The way that waviness gets on there is when you take a border and you just sew it on, and then when you get to the end you cut it off. And don't do that. I have very few absolute don'ts in quilting, but that's one of them. Don't do that. And I'll show you the reason why. Your fabric, when it's pieced together on the crosswise, does stretch some. If you can use lengthwise, which is the way I cut this, it just doesn't stretch at all. So you don't want your border stretching. And the other thing is that when you're sewing, the feed dogs are feeding faster than the bottom of the foot on top, so it tends to be gathering even though you don't know it. So I'm going to show you the best way to do it. And I first learned this from Beth Ferrier. I saw it on a video that on a TV show actually a long time ago. So you lay your quilt out and you do the long sides first, and I've got two borders that I've cut. In this case I cut them 6.5 inches wide, and I got two of them that are the same length, and I put them down on top of my quilt so that the edges are even with the edge here, and then I'm going to just spread it across my quilt and cut it off even over here. Now you'll notice that I don't have to know how many inches my quilt is, which is another big advantage of this, because I don't like crawling around on the floor. So I don't have to measure to find out that it's 73 inches or something. And also maybe it was supposed to be 72 inches and mine is 73, or it was supposed to be 74 and mine is 73. So this way I didn't need to know the number, I just need to know it's got to be this long. And then I take and I fold my borders in half and I crease them in the halfway, so this is where I know where halfway is. And I do it again so I know where the quarter is. And I could use an iron if an iron was handy. And then I do the same thing with my quilt, and my quilt's got 6 rows, so it's kind of obvious that this is the halfway. And then it's also kind of obvious that the quarters are going to be halfway through this block, but still I can crease it like that. So now I'm going to take my borders and pin them on, matching the ends, the halfway in the middle, and those quarter-inch marks, quarter-way marks. So one of them's going to go on the long side of the quilt here, and the other one's going to go on the long side of the quilt over here. And I'm going to pin them on, sew them, and then come back and show you how to do the other side. So, because this is a little longer than you probably want to watch me do. But let's start out with pinning the edges. So that's matched up. And my center fold, center fold, get it? That one goes there, and here's the quarter one, quarter there. Where's my halfway fold? Halfway fold and the halfway on the quilt. And the quarter fold and the quarter on the quilt. And now I'm going to sew this with a 1/4-inch seam and do the other side, press it. Okay, here we are at the ironing board. I'm going to iron the seam the way I sewed it first. Always makes them lie flatter. I don't have a good reason why, it just works. And then I'm going to press it open like this from the front side, and this prevents me from getting any little tucks or pleats. And then I'm going to swing it around the other way. Oops, gotta do what I just said. The reason we have striped fabric on our ironing board is so that when you're ironing something like a bunch of strips, you can make sure you're going straight. Anyway, got that ironed that way. I'm going to open up like this. And now I'm going to go back over to the other table and show you how to put on the second set of borders. Okay, so now we have the borders on the long side of the quilt on both sides. And now we need to put the ones for the short side. So So I'm going to take the other set of borders that I had, this out of the way, and again, I put them across the quilt, but this time they have to go across the borders that I just added, which is why I couldn't cut them ahead of time. I have to wait till I get the first set of borders on, and then I'm going to put them over so that they are even with that across my quilt till I get to the end. And I am just a little bit short. So I got two choices. I could make my borders a little smaller, and then this would be big enough. Or another thing you can do, necessity being the mother of invention, is I could decide to put borders on the bottom that just go from here to here and put a corner block here and here. So that's what you do if you don't have enough border fabric. But we're going to pretend, because I always pretend when I'm doing these, that I do have enough border fabric. So anyway, you line it up here in the middle of the quilt, and you go across. And you know what I'm going to do is I am going to just split the difference here. I'm going to make that about a 1/2 inch short there. And I'm going to go across and make this a 1/2 inch short here. Ooh, don't even need that much. I'm just a tiny bit short. See, I thought I was going to make it. Almost. So what I'm going to do is split the difference, fold it, and then I'm going to make my borders a little less wide, which is fine with me. Okay, so same process. Get that the way it should be. Fold them in half, crease it, fold it again, crease it. Do the same thing with my quilt. Pin them on and sew it. And then what's happened is I have two perfectly flat sides and two flat tops and bottoms, and I have a nice flat frame for my quilt. So the next time we're going to show you how to do it with miter borders. Thanks!